Hello, we are Adventurers Beyond the Horizon. I'm Anthony.
And I'm John. This is part 2 of suspensions, lifts, and getting your rig trail ready.
Welcome back, Chris. Thank you for joining us again to finish up on part 2. Just wanted to see, how have you been?
Good, guys. Thanks for having me back. Been good. Just busy. Right now I'm putting rear leaf springs. Speaking of suspension, I'm putting rear leaf springs on my brother's 1985 Land Cruiser. That's fun. Lots of rust and lots of cuss words, but it's good. Yeah, just been busy.
We can also, I guess, talk about your toolbox stuff going on, right?
Yeah, we could talk about that. Yeah. So I take old toolboxes and I restore them, whether it's spot welding or whatever. But I take them, I sand them down, I repaint them as Toyotas. So I put like Toyota emblems on them. I pimp a toolbox out, make it match a Land Cruiser. I just finished up, actually, as funny as I finished up 1985 Land Cruiser toolbox, painted it that like tan color with the Toyota commemorative stripes on it or whatever. So yeah, that's my little side business on the fun side of art that I do. So. And
where can they contact you about that?
It's Chill Custom. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. For now, and then I'll probably get some big websites coming up soon, but just kind of on the Facebook and Instagram, Chill Custom LLC. You see all my Toyota art and trucks and all kinds of weird stuff I do.
And we'll put that in the description too if y'all are interested in that kind of thing.
Yeah, right on, thanks.
Well, since we're on that as well, John, did you have any questions about that, or you want to go straight into the topic questions?
No, I think we can go ahead and get straight into the topic questions. Just one little comment. I think that's pretty cool. I didn't know you also did that. So
yeah, I've been kind of a famous artist for 12 years now, I guess. I was on a couple TV shows, but mostly like my art. I draw trucks for a living and work on some of them more custom stuff. But yeah, I do lots of weird welding. I call it odds and ends welding. Because I do lots of odds and ends weird stuff, like weird bumpers and tire swings, like I'm going to build Anthony one here soon.
Yep.
Rear tire swing mount for his Colorado, so that's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. I definitely need it. Because I can't keep that spare tire in my bed for too much longer.
Get that bed space back.
I know.
For adventures.
Oh, you don't have a spare tire holder underneath the bed?
The tire is
an oversized tire.
Yeah, it's too big for it now.
Okay, I gotcha.
Got a full-size spare, you need a little rack for it.
Yeah.
Swing out, whatever.
I'll let you ask the first question, John.
Oh, yeah, sure. Can you explain the pros and cons of a body lift versus like a traditional suspension lift?
Yeah, so body lifts are cool and all. I mean, a lot of people are going to get upset by that, but I personally don't like them, but they have their purpose. Mm-hmm. The first truck I ever owned was the 76 International Scout 2. And I couldn't afford a lift kit, but I could afford a body lift, so it was like $80 back when I was a kid. A couple things I would say pros. If you're looking for clearance, that's the way to do it. It's cheap, it's good clearance. It basically takes the body off the frame and lifts it. You can do like 1 to 4 inches of body lift. I'd stick 1 to 2 inches is okay, but it comes with its cons, which is you got to drop your radiator, your fan shroud sometimes. You got to watch your steering shaft angle from your steering wheel down to the steering box if you have that. Mm-hmm. You can stretch that. And a lot of the body kits nowadays are, it's 2025. They come with the right parts usually. But basically, we call it a hockey puck lift. So it's not doing performance for your truck, more or less just lifting it so you can put bigger tires on it. There are some, fire trucks and stuff like that where they'll put a body lift on it to gain clearance for like the brush fires and that kind of stuff. So they have their purpose. They're not my favorite idea of a lift. It's definitely a lift truck, but you have some issues to run into. A lot of the stuff in the body lifts, they don't come with. Usually when you lift the body of the truck, your engine stays where it is, which means your radiator needs to stay with the engine. Lower your radiator, lower your fan shroud, put an extension in your steering box, which stresses that out a little bit, or steering shaft, excuse me. Sometimes you'll have gaps between your grill and your bumper. a lot of vehicles too these days, like 4Runners and stuff like that, they still have a frame, but there are cars nowadays that you can't do a body lift. And what that means, for those of you that don't know what it means, your frame, which holds your suspension, is separate from the body of the vehicle. And a lot of these newer cars, they're unibody, which means the frame is built into the body.
Yeah.
So you can't do a body lift. But you know, like just for example, like a 4Runner, Toyota 4Runner still have a frame and a body. I did a body lift on a 2018 4Runner, and that was a nightmare from hell. It was, I don't know, 8 hours. You had to take apart the complete interior and stretch the plastic bumpers to the frame to make it work.
I feel like that's more of an expensive thing to do. than
Yeah, I
a
mean,
suspension lift.
the guy wanted to put as much lift on his 4Runner as he could, and I understand that, and that worked, but we had to modify more than enough things that I could even say. That was a 18-hour job.
I wouldn't say that would be, at least for me, I wouldn't say that'd be worth it for the cash.
Yeah, body lifts are not worth it unless you have an old truck. I mean, like an old Chevy Z71 from the 90s, man. Like I did 2-inch lift on that. That's a great truck to put a body lift on if you want to put bigger tires on it, plus a lift, a suspension lift. But
Okay.
yeah, that's body lifts. Not too much to it.
Okay.
Are there any scenarios where you would personally recommend a body lift over a suspension lift, or are there any at all? Because it seems like you're pretty
Nah.
against a body lift. Okay.
And that's just
That's
my
what I
opinion.
figured.
I mean, there's a reason for it. Like I said, some of the brush fire trucks, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You would put a body lift on to get bigger tires, more clearance of the body for accessories or work stuff. But that's probably the only time I'd say yeah.
Okay.
So for actual functionality stuff, not for,
It's not functional, really, more or less.
you could do I would rather do a airlift than a body lift at that point. I guess that's more suspension stuff though.
Yeah, but I mean, if you want to, jack your truck to the sky, get as much lift out of the truck as you can do that.
Yeah.
Does it even look any better? Like, I don't think I've ever seen a vehicle with a body lift on it, because I think it's an uncommon thing.
Have you ever
nowadays.
seen Whistling Diesel?
Some look okay, some don't.
Have you seen the Whistling Diesel one?
I'm sure I have.
Where it's like the huge monster truck,
Oh yeah,
and it's like a '90s
that
Z71.
thing's awesome.
Yeah.
It's ridiculously awesome.
I guess it's a version of a body lift.
Yeah. I mean, there's times where you gotta put a body lift on, I guess, to clear parts and weird stuff, but that's in a weird situation.
Yeah.
I know previously we talked about it in like the last episode about like issues in maintenance items, but what are some common maintenance or mechanical issues that a lot of people run into after lifting their vehicle, and what are some ways that we can mitigate that?
I know, yeah, I remember talking about this. So, first things first, I always tell people if you're gonna do a small lift, suspension wise, make sure you do your research and get an alignment. That's the biggest thing. Is a lot of people put Tacomas, for example, they put a leveling kit on it. That drastically changes your angles of your upper control arms, which will kick your tires to the curb. Basically, it'll just eat tires. Another thing with lifts, first and foremost, most of the vehicles these days are IFS, independent front suspension, which means it's not a solid axle. We did cover that last time, but the CV axles, even 1 inch of lift can drastically mess up your CV axles. Some vehicles don't like it. Some vehicles, it doesn't bother them. My Land Cruiser, I have a 2003 Land Cruiser. It's lifted 2 or 3 inches, and it definitely eats CVs probably every once a year, 2 years. I gotta replace them. It's just something that comes with the territory. Chevy 1500 trucks, I think, are the worst candidate I've seen. You lift that thing any inch at all, and it eats the CVs and the tie rod ends on your steering. I mean,
I have a side question with this as well.
yeah.
How would you know when those parts need to be replaced? Are you like going underneath there and like looking at them, or like can you just tell by the way
You can
you're?
probably hear most
That's
of it.
that's the fun question. You'll know. Either one tire's not spinning, or you hear the famous click, 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 or you're gonna have grease all inside your front wheel wells. That's the first sign. Whether you hear it or not, you're gonna hear grease. I mean, you're gonna see grease on the inside of your tires or like the underside of your truck. That's probably the first thing that'll go wrong with when you lift your truck, if that's a problem. You know, it's 2025. They do make extensions. There's plenty of shops that make custom parts to do that. But the biggest thing I always say is your upper control arms, your CVs, and your steering joints take the most stress when you lift it. That's the first three things you're always going to have. That comes with the territory of lifting a vehicle. But if you do it right, where you spend the extra bucks to buy all the parts you need, like control arms, usually a lot of people, when they do a lift kit, their vehicle's a little bit older. So when you're in there doing the lift kit, you might as well replace your tie rod ends, which are those rubber bushing ball joint type things on the end of your steering knuckles. A lot of that's, you got to spend the extra buck when you do your lift kit. And a lot of shops too. If you take your vehicle to a shop to do a lift kit, they're going to usually recommend you do those, because they're like, hey, we're in here doing your lift kit and we noticed your tie rods are screwed up and you need to get in alignment after this and we need to align it. It's an extra $200 and hour of labor. You might as well do it. That's my recommendation on that.
So in other words, if you want it done right, you're gonna have to spend the money to do it.
Yeah, I can't stress it enough, man. Learn from my stupid mistakes. I've had 156 vehicles since I was 13. I've wrecked and destroyed plenty of axles and all kinds of stuff. And if my friends are listening, I know you're laughing right now. My brother especially, they know I blow through transmissions. I like to drive my manuals very hard sometimes, or I just have bad luck and get cars with 200,000 miles and blow through them, and then I put a lift kit on it, and then it dies, and then they're like, hoo-hoo-hoo. But hey, that's what comes through. But my biggest stress is spend the money, do it right.
That's fair. So we kind of already did question 13, so I think we should move on to our bonus suspension topics.
Okay.
Could you explain bumper steer or
Bump steer.
Bump steer. What is it?
My explanation sucks, so pardon me on this one. When you, especially solid axle trucks, let's start on that one. And if I ramble too much on this topic, let me know. But we've all heard of the death wobble, Jeep Cherokees, Ford F-350s, yada yada. That's part of it. Is when you put a lift kit on a truck and your control arm bushings and all that stuff's worn out, and you just want to lift the truck, put 33s on it, blah blah blah. Bump steer is when, how do I say this? On a solid axle truck, it's where your caster angle is off to where your axle is rotated forward too much. So when you're steering, instead of your tires steering parallel to the ground or perpendicular to the ground, they're a little more off angle. So when you're steering at high speeds or low speeds, no, I'm saying this wrong, but I see it in my head. It's hard to explain.
No, I get it.
Basically, your steering's off. So if you don't get your angles correct on your axles, or even an IFS truck, that's why there's upper control arms that have adjustable angles. Not to rep SPC, but that's the common brand of adjustable upper control arms. JBA is another one. There's tons of outfitters that make upper control arms, but that's one part of it. There's when you change the angles of your suspension, one tire will, every vehicle, this is so hard. I don't have,
we kind of gave
I had
you
a
that
suspension book in front of me. I totally forgot it today. I have the actual SPC book and they explain it, and I should have just read that as a brief again. It's been a while, but
that's all good.
Basically when you lift your truck, your steering goes to whack. Tires are towed in, or your axle's rotated too much forward. God, man. It's hard to talk.
So in other words, you can also see it. So not in other words, but you'll definitely see it on tire wear. Your tire will wear a lot.
That's a huge part of it. Tire wear, your angle of your steering wheel. When you do a lift kit and you're done with the lift kit and you put the truck back on the ground, your steering wheel is going to be off. And that's not part of bump steer. That's just steering in general. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is Google's explanation. I'll just do this real quick.
Okay.
Bump steer is the unintended change in a vehicle's steering angle that occurs when the wheels move up or down over bumps or uneven surfaces, causing the vehicle to steer itself even without driver input. And yeah. But yeah, basically Jeep Wranglers, JKs, JLs. Like you lift it, the bushings wear out, the steering stabilizer wears out, and you lift it, you're changing all the angles, and your vehicle, hits a bump, and you go skyrocketing to the left lane. That's a good chunk of bump steer. The other part of it's how your wheels steer going down the road straight. You can rotate, when you lift it, you can rotate your axle forward too much caster, and that wreaks havoc on your drive shafts, your steering, your coils, everything.
Yeah, I don't think I would want my car to hit a bump and then at like 70 miles an hour and then steer off the road.
Yeah, I mean a lot of that's
too good.
Bump steer, in my opinion, is also kind of like death wobble. You hit a bump and your front tire just wobble out of control, and you got to basically let go of the steering wheel and let it slow down.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think of it whenever I hear bump
I mean, it's like
steer.
the most common cause of a solid axle vehicle. You're gonna have a death wobble all the time.
Yeah.
That's why you got to keep up on your maintenance.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so another bonus suspension topic. This one's going to go more into tires, though. When fitting larger tires, what considerations should someone make regarding further fender modifications or cutting?
It's kind of just like a tire question. It's not even suspension.
Yeah.
I mean, it's part of the whole package, though. A lot of you guys want to lift it. You put 33s, 34s, 35s, or 285, 75, 17s on it. Mm-hmm. You're gonna hit something. So, for example, I like using Tacomas because I work on them the most. They make a body. Toyotas have a body mount that is close to the front, right where the door shuts on the front fenders. That's something I want to tell everybody. Like when you are lifting your vehicle, your rim offset, choose wisely, because at the wider rim you get, sure, it kicks your tires out. So you may put a lift kit on your vehicle and it doesn't rub. You get bigger tires and different rims, now it rubs in weird spots. And you're like, why does it rub now? Your offset kicks your wheels out. It's something to consider when you do a lift kit. Let me think of the website, but there's a website, Custom Offsets. I will rep them forever. It's the greatest website ever. So when you go to lift a vehicle and you want to choose tire size and you want to know what fits, what doesn't, go to customoffsets.com, read the website, go to their charts. They will give you pictures, examples of every truck I can think of off the top of my head, to what size tires, how much trimming there is. I lifted Honda Pilots, a lot of the newer Honda Pilots, and we put 31s on them, and that was like impossible because we had to basically like pound the inside of the metal of the wheel well to clear those tires, which is not a fun job.
Why would someone want to put bigger tires on a Honda Pilot?
Why not?
Because it's a Honda Pilot.
Because they're awesome. I mean,
I guess.
I'm part of all the groups, Safari, all the cars. You guys rock. Basically, I put lift kits on every car you could imagine, from Honda Civics to Toyota Siennas to Penzgauers to whatever.
How about Ford Fiesta?
I'm sure there's one out there.
That'd just be weird.
I've done a Ford Aerostar.
What is that?
It's just a Ford minivan. I put a 4-inch.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
So I put a 4-inch lift on those because a lot of those are used for handicap.
Okay.
Same with the Toyota Sienna vans.
Yeah. Okay.
So we put 4-inch lifts on them, and you put side skirts and bigger tires on it if they want it. But it lifts the vehicle 4 inches so they get a wheelchair in it. I know it's super off topic.
Well,
but,
that's fine. But that's.
but anyways, sorry. Back to your question, John. So
You're okay.
some people like me, people call me the Hackmaster. I like to cut my fenders like a madman. I like a 4-inch lift on like 40s. I like low and fat trucks. So I take sawzalls and grinders, but I do it very nicely. There's good ways to do it and bad ways to do it. I've seen people just take a sawzall and a grinder and cut, 6 inches out of their wheel well. That's cool. I like that look. A lot of people hate that, and they're scared to death to do it themselves. So
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I mean, that's part of my business. Literally, I cut fenders for a living. I cut Anthony's fenders. There's a kit from, was it AEV?
AV, yeah.
So in Anthony's situation, his Colorado, AEV sells a fender cut kit. A lot of vehicles have this option. A lot of them don't. Back in the day when I was a kid, we all had XJ Cherokees. And I mean, I took the fenders off, the fender flares off. cut them 4 inches, rolled them, tack welded them on the inside, painted them, sealed them, and then re-drilled the holes for the fender flares and put them up high. And I was able to stuff like 36s on a 3-inch lift.
Jeez.
And still flex out. So it's an art form for sure. They call me the hack master because I like to hack them up. But I mean, it's something to consider. If you're doing a nice truck and you want just a lift kit to put nice tires on, you don't have to cut your fenders. But sometimes, most likely, you got to cut the inner corners of your fender flares on the inside of your wheel wells to clear the tires. But I mean, it is kind of a bonus question because it's something a lot of people don't talk about, but it's something sometimes you have to do. You get brand new tires, a discount tire, and you can't steer because it rubs your fenders off. So it's something to consider. It's not hard. It's not for the faint of heart because a lot of people get so scared cutting up a truck, and it's depreciates your value in some ways, but I'm all about it. So.
I mean, if you're already gonna beat up on this thing doing trails and whatnot, I mean, cutting it, I don't think is too bad.
No, I mean, I know it took you some guts to watch me take a grinder to your truck.
Well, I also have like 2 big ass scratches on both sides of my truck.
It's just breaking in.
I mean, it was gonna happen eventually.
Yep.
But
yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can see videos of Anthony, or if I send them to you. Anthony's first rock crawling experience.
yeah.
Smashing his rock guards on the side of his truck.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to post that on the Instagram.
Yeah.
We also got to do a lot more this summer too.
Oh yeah, we got hundreds of weekends coming up.
Yeah.
It's about that time. We got about a month and a half, and it's time to go wheeling.
I need that snow to melt.
I've done
Made some
2
rock
camping
sliders.
trips so far, and I'm gonna do another one coming up. So we're starting
Nice.
already. So
You coming back out to Colorado and play with us?
In July.
yeah,
July.
sometime in July. I don't know if I'll be able to take the Maverick though, but we'll see.
No, just jump in our truck.
You're not gonna be able to take the Maverick. What?
No. I mean, like on the roads that we'll go on.
Oh, I'll just take you guys up Red Cone in my truck. Yeah, don't worry.
Oh yeah,
We'll
take my
smash
truck.
We'll smash my truck. It's cool. I don't care.
yeah.
Anywho.
We got that topic over. Here's one more question, or I guess we got 2 more questions.
Okay.
One of them is, what is your top piece of advice for someone who's installing a suspension lift for the very first time themselves?
Oh my Lord. Safety first.
Yeah.
I am almost 40. I have, I'm missing a finger. I have more burns on my body. I mean, I did this for a living for 20 years, but guys, be safe. Put chocks under your freaking tires, especially if you're taking a drive shaft out. Let me tell you from experience. You take a drive shaft out, guys, please put a damn chalk under your tire. It'll roll over your head.
I've seen so many videos of that where they've removed the drive shaft and it just starts rolling on
Yep.
them. They're just like freaking out.
I think it was 19 the first time I did that on an accident without a chalk. I mean, even 2x4. I mean, there's videos of guys putting beer bottles under their tires. Anything. Just be safe, guys. I've cut fingers off, smashed my eyeballs. Like, don't be dumb. I was dumb. we all do dumb things. But
Learn from his pain.
be safe. Number 2, a cheap $10, 500-pound Home Depot ratchet strap is your best friend if you don't have the tools. So if you're doing a suspension lift like I'm doing tomorrow and I have to do it in the driveway, chalk your wheels, put a decent ratchet strap around your axle if you're taking out leaf springs or a control arm or like a rear leaf spring, especially solid axles, man. Put a ratchet strap around your axle just in case that jack falls down. Just in case you forgot to do something, you take the U-bolts off your leaf springs and, you're not paying attention because you're beer deep in. I don't drink when I work on cars, but for those of you that do, man, I can't stress it enough, dude. Been there, done that. Be safe.
I was gonna say, is that like a lessons learned for you? Don't drink while you're working.
I mean, no, some people can do it. I just choose not to. My drinking days are over. I don't really care. I'll have a beer. That's it. No.
Yeah.
I don't booze and work. That's not fun for me anymore.
I don't think that would be fun for me either.
No, and I got a kid, man. I got to stay alive as long as I can.
That's fair.
My son watches me work on cars, and I'm trying to teach him how to be safe too. I'm like, hey, look at this. Don't drop that. Teach them while they're young, guys. It's the best way to do it. We need the next generation to get into this stuff, otherwise it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all changing too with the electric
Oh,
vehicles.
it is. Oh.
I wonder how that's going to be with suspension lifts. I feel like more electric vehicles are doing airbags.
Well, I mean, you look at the Cybertruck and the Rivians, they have
Aren't they all
6
airbags?
inches of travel. Yeah, it's either airbags or hydraulics. I mean, my truck's hydraulic, but that's old school.
Yeah.
I mean, I was shocked the first time I saw LX 470. That's what I drive right now. It has AHC, which is adjustable height control. I mean, mine lifts up 4 inches, and it's all a closed hydraulic system, which is it's amazing. A lot of people hate it, but I think it's they're super cool, man.
Then you
Such crazy suspension technology.
Yeah, I saw a video
From the
of Bose inventing a suspension system, but it never got like implemented into the cars nowadays because of how heavy it is.
That's the
What?
kicker, man.
Yeah.
I've personally have designed. So I went to school for industrial design and mechanical engineering with a side of criminal justice forensics. Don't ask me why. That's my 2 majors. But industrial design, I obsess over suspensions and like building Baja trucks and pre-runners and Baja Beetles. Like I want to design suspension. I've built some weird parts of suspension. But yeah, it's things are changing, but trying to keep the old cool stuff alive, you know. I'm a dinosaur in my time, but hey,
It's going to be a while before that stuff dies out.
yeah. Hopefully.
Well, if we have anything to say about it.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to keep it alive. My kid is too, man. My kid loves that. My son is 5.5, and oh man, that's my mini-me.
Well, you can't beat on a electric vehicle like you can beat on a gas powered vehicle though.
Right.
So
I mean, no diss on Cybertrucks, but I absolutely hate them.
I'm
My son loves
dissing
them.
the Cybertruck.
My son loves them, and I'm like, that's cool. So we have a game where we find Cybertrucks.
It's funny because we had an episode before this one talking about electric off road stuff.
There's the newest video of the Cybertruck going over a small rock incline, and he snaps the it sounded like the torque converter or the axle shafts or whatever, but I just was like, oy vey. I mean, it's all about drivers too. Like, you know, my buddies and I, we all had competitions when we were kids, you know, 17, 18, 19, all the way up to 30. Well, we still do. But it's all about the driver and the tires. Let's be real.
There's got to be some forgiving. from the
I
vehicle,
can
though.
outwheel anybody in a stock Ford Ranger or Jeep Cherokee.
I could believe
I
that.
don't care. As long as it's got decent tires, I can drive that shit anywhere.
I could believe that. I could.
But
From seeing the way you drive, I
I'm
definitely could.
a nutcase. I've been doing this for a long time, and I still make stupid mistakes. But man, it's all about the driver.
All right, so we got one big final question here for you, one planned question. We might come up with some other smaller ones, but for now,
Yeah.
is there any particular suspension modification you've done yourself that have significantly improved your vehicle's performance or capability that you would recommend to other people per se?
I personally, and it's just my opinion, love Fox. They've never done me wrong. I had like one bad Fox experience with a Raptor, but that's okay. Again, Tacomas. My ex's Tacoma, she had, a Fox 4-inch lift kit. So it's the inner front struts. You replace the struts, keep the coils kind of thing. Instead of putting like a leveling kit on it. I mean, night and day performance. Like the Fox and the Bilstein 5100s. Yeah, they're mainstream. Everybody's got one. But I'm not kidding you. You drive a truck, you put the 5100 lift kit on it, and my God, does it ride so much better. Gives you 2 or 3 inches of lift, and it rides like a Cadillac. And it goes off-road, gives you a little more flex. That's just your bang for the buck, bad Mama Jammer lift right there. I recommend that. That's for that's entry level, but also like spend the extra money and get the nice stuff, man. Oh, you'll know the difference.
What's your opinion on King shocks then?
Oh, Kings are the best.
Okay.
You can't go wrong with Kings.
Okay.
Yeah, Kings, Carlisle. I can't say it ever because I see the name in my head and I always say it wrong. Carlisle, for like Dodge Ram 3500, 2500 trucks. Old Man Emu. Those are all small lifts. Like Old Man Emu, I will rep the hell out of that. For like Land Cruisers and stuff. Old Man Emu, Dobsons. I've worked in a lot of off-road shops, and I've seen the worst and the best. Kings are my favorite. Obviously, they're ridiculously expensive, but you get what you pay for. So if you spend the extra money, you're going to get a nice ride. The cheap stuff out there works. I can't dog on Rough Country, even though I can, but Daystar, their cheaper one, you get what you pay for. Still does the job. But I love Fox. I've always loved Fox. They've never done me wrong. But my God, just upgrading your suspension. Even if you don't want a big lift, you want a slightly bigger tire, but you want more performance. I don't know what Gen F-150 that would be. The newer-ish F-150s. They make you can buy just the front Fox coilovers, which is like a 2-inch lift leveling kit, and like rear shocks. And it's cheaper. You get an alignment. They have control arm cam adjustments. That's one thing that you need to buy if you do that on F-150s. But my God, man, you drive a stock F-150, you put that 2-3-inch Fox leveling kit or lift kit on it and drive it, hit the brakes, feel the truck roll and move. Night and day difference for performance. Like, awesome.
So, I have a separate question. How many Colorados have you worked on throughout the years? Suspension-wise.
Probably 15 of them.
Okay. So
At
not as many as I
least.
thought. Okay.
Yeah. Well, your body style, probably 15.
Okay.
A little bit older, like your old red truck, probably 15 of those, and probably 10 of the older first gens.
Okay.
The first gens, I love and hate those trucks. Oh my God. But yeah, your truck, probably 15 of your body style, like the 19, 18, 20, 21 versions.
Then what do you think of the DSSVs?
I didn't put a lift kit on with those, but I drove one, and I was impressed.
Okay.
It's not bad. I think yours has the AAV is just, that stuff's awesome.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with AAV. It's expensive. My
Yeah.
God, that stuff is awesome.
I'm glad I bought it used.
They make some nice stuff. So, yeah, not a bad truck there.
I just like to hype up my own truck every once in a while.
Oh yeah, everybody does,
Yeah.
Yeah, like you try to hype up your Maverick as like
Dude,
as a proper
Mavericks
truck.
are cool. I was considering buying that when I did some jobs because I need a tiny truck and I need a huge truck, like for different jobs. But now I'm just like, screw it. I'm going 3,500 dually quad cab.
The
monster
biggest truck you can possibly get.
I might be picking up a 78 quad cab 4-speed 4-wheel drive dually truck for my welding / work truck.
Those things are
It's a
insanely
nasty
big.
truck, let me tell you.
Yeah.
5 miles to the gallon, man. Whew. Only for work.
Yeah, it would only have to be for work.
Yep. If I'm charging somebody to go out to their house in the brush, I will definitely be charging you for my gas. Oh, good times.
Now, speaking of work trucks, I've actually seen a lot of Mavericks become work trucks for like
Yeah?
AAA.
Yeah. You say for Chick-fil-A?
AAA.
Oh, I heard Chick-fil-A.
Sorry.
I wouldn't doubt it. I've definitely seen those.
Yeah.
No, I see Mavericks everywhere now. Like
Yeah.
lifted, lowered, slammed. They're cool little trucks, man.
Uh,
I've seen a lot more of the newer body styles lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony just recently sent me something. What was it? Some company worked with Ford to put a V8 engine inside of the Maverick.
Oh yeah,
Did you,
I'm sure
did you
it's
see the
SVT?
It's a Lobo.
Oh, the Lobo.
They put a V8 supercharged V8 in one of those.
Dope.
It's pretty
So
crazy.
I don't know if you guys know what an Explorer Sport Track is.
vaguely, I think.
So back in the 2005s, 8s, and whatever, they made a Ford Explorer Sport Track, and it's a little It's basically a Maverick, but a slight bit bigger, in my opinion. But it was a Ford Explorer that they like chopped the back end off, and they put a little tiny bed.
Oh, those Explorers. Okay.
Yeah.
Some of those came with V8s, and there's like they did Ford Expeditions and Ford Explorer Sport Tracks with like the rap. There was a rap star that like had his own edition, like the MC Hammer edition or whatever. But they did like Ford teamed with one of these guys for the Ford Explorer Sports, and I saw one in our neighborhood.
Really?
And it is all red, has black stripes, but it's like a V8, has a body kit, 20-inch rims, dual exhaust. I mean, it's a nasty little truck.
Jesus.
It ripped past me, and I barely caught what it was, and I was like, oh, it's one of those things. They're just rare, weird trucks.
Yeah.
Not too many people have them anymore. They're all in the junkyard now, but like, there's a few and far between out there. There's another one in our neighbor that's lifted. He's got like a 4-inch lift on it. I did a couple lifts on him. It was very terrible because it was rusty, and hell, it might have been 2 or 3 years ago I did that, and I literally had to cut every piece of that suspension off that truck. Just rusted to absolute hell, and I had to like cut everything off. And
That doesn't surprise me being here in Colorado.
I mean, I think it might have been a Rust Belt truck, but either way, looked cool as heck. But my God, it was 2 days of hell cutting shocks off and bushings and all kinds of junk off that thing.
Cool looking from the outside, but not cool looking from
Yeah,
the
the kid loved
underside.
it, and I was all about it. I cut his fenders for him. We put 33s on it. It was a sweet looking truck.
Nice.
Yeah, good times.
Well, do you have anything else, John?
No, I think that's it. That's it for me. You have any?
All right. Well, I don't have anything. Do you have anything you want to talk about, Chris?
No, just be safe, have fun. I mean, my 3 pieces of advice: be safe, number 1. Spend the extra money, and number 3, get to know your vehicle after you got a lift kit. That's one thing I forgot to say. You know, go take that truck on a dirt road as soon as you get a lift kit and feel it, get to know it. Don't drive crazy, but like swerve, hit the brakes, go play in the snow. Get to know your truck, then, get into the mud and the dirt and the craziness, because when you lift your truck, that goes back on safety, it handles differently. It brakes harder, the body rolls more, yada, yada, yada.
So in other words,
Get to know your vehicle. Have
play it
fun
safe.
with it.
Play it safe.
Spend the
Spend the money, and then play.
Get to know your vehicle and have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps up today's episode on suspension setups, lifts, and everything you need to know to prep your rig for an adventure. John, I learned a ton. How about you?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I think I'm ready to tackle some upgrades myself. Probably not, but we'll see.
Ah, come on.
That'd be entertaining to see.
Yeah.
Lift the Maverick. Come on. Man.
Oh, I definitely am going to lift the Maverick,
Yeah.
but I got to find the right ones. But you've been saying rough country is kind of like the entry level, so
Yeah, wait a little bit. I would wait just a little bit and see what other companies come out. Let the first lift kit, have their fails and fix it first.
It's been what, like almost 4 or 5 years now?
Yeah, there should be
2
some
years.
stuff out there now, I believe.
Yeah, 2 years.
There's
now.
some good stuff out there now.
2 years.
Yeah, almost
Okay.
3.
Yeah.
All right, well, huge thanks to Chris for sharing his expertise and insights. And now we want to hear from all of you listening. What suspension upgrades have you done and plan to do next?
Connect with us on social media, share your setups, and ask your questions. And tell us what you thought of today's episode. We would love your feedback.
Thanks for hanging out with us, everyone. Until next time,
Keep your tires on the trail.
and we'll see you beyond the horizon.
Peace.
Out!
Saturday morning, I wake up and see the sunrise. Pack the truck with recovery gear and supplies. Put my route in my GPS and play some tunes. and sing it's time to go.